There's no August sunset for you or me. There's no August sunset, it's just a tragedy. There's no August sunset, here you're me. And there's no August sunset, never to be. There's no August sunset, nothing else by me. It's fine by me, you're gonna get free. You're gonna do whatever you want to be. You're gonna do him hard and you're gonna do me. That's the south side of a tragedy. Here's the sun side of a way to be. Here's the south side of a tragedy. Here's the underbelly of the city. Here's all not pretty. Here's all pretty shit. It's the underbelly of the city. It's what you do in a town without pity. It's the underbelly of the city. It's what you do to each other with no pity. South side. Yeah, that's south side. Yeah. It's what you do to each other without pity. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it's what you do when you realize it. And when you don't have morals in your living. It's the underbelly of the city. Where you're down and dirty and you get your shitty. It's the underbelly of the city. Western civilization down to the nitty gritty. It's he or she on top. And then all those who just lost. It's he or she on top. I stand on the belly of those are lost. It's the underbelly of the city. It's getting down dirty and shitty. There's those that stand on top. On those backs are lost. It's those who stand on top. On the back, those that lost. It's those who stand on top. On the backs of those who lost. It's underbelly of the city. It's down and dirty and it's really shitty. It's the underbelly of the city. It's down and dirty and it's down to the nitty-gritty. There's the south side of love. It's the underbelly of trust. It's the south side of love. It's the underbelly of trust. And it gets pretty shitty when in the underbelly of the city. And those who are on top stand on the backs of those who lost. It's the underbelly of the city. It's down and dirty. It's Western City. It's standing on top. On the back, the city lost. It's standing on top. On the back, of those who lost. light of love is lost. All trust is outside of trust. It's just not to us. It's just us. It's just another not bus. It's just lost of all trust. It's beyond the belly of a restless civilization. It's the realization that hibernation is run by little friends. It's not real, it's not again. It's run by little friends. It's all never even better than the binge. Soul mover, you burning me. The soul mover, you burn me. With all your flesh, all that cash, all that nails. It's so fantastic, oh, just like it was. Pushing me, I don't wanna be with someone that could be in your destiny. Yeah, the soul mover, you're pushing me. I don't want to be another in your path of destiny. should be. Soul Mover, you're a user, you're pulling on me. The Soul Mover, you're a user, you're a disillusionary. I know you don't let go, and you wanna move on me. I know it's all gold, all money. Soul Mover, you're a user, you're pushing on me. The Soul Diffuser, it's all illusion, it's never to be. It's illusionary. It's a one night. It's a pot. It's a bot. It's a loss. Soul loser. You're an abuser. It's all illusionary. And now you push upon Josephine. What you wanna do with me? You're all about that money. You're all about that pain, honey. You're all about nothing but money. You're all about bitter money. Soul user, the Soul Mover, the disillusionary. Soul Mover, you're a diffuser, the light breaks in the beams. And you're at the rave, it all craves, the light breaks in waves. You're at the rave, it's all gray, the light diffused in the waves. Soul Mover, you groover, it's all a dream. You're a bot, you're a thought, you're not me. Though I may dream, it's all obscene. Soul Mover, it's all illusion, it's all never to be. Soul Diffuser, the light of rapier, it all split into beams. Oh, you're lost sight unseen. You're lost sight unseen. Soul Diffuser, the light diffuser, it split into beams. And nothing was seen. Way outside can't see. The Soul Diffuser, the Soul Mover, the light split into beams. And nothing is what it seems here when you're on that scene. Soul Diffuser, the light diffused here, oh, it split into beams. And nothing is here, reality here, It's not that scene, but nothing is that scene. Soul mover, a light diffuser, the light is splitting the scene. Some dark, some light, some not meant to be. Soul user, the soul mover, the groove is not what it seems. The light appears in the beams, and now you've lost sight. Now you lost sight on sea. Soul over, and you're a loser, and you're down on a dream. The light diffused in the beams is not what it seems. You're a thought, you're a thought, you're a never be. You're a thought, you're a whatnot, you're a sight unseen. You're a thought, you're a thought, you're a sight unseen. You're definitely not clean. You're definitely unclean. And never to be. Definitely unclean. And you're never to be. Definitely unclean. And sight unseen. Never to be.
This is Sam Electric Ghost, and I'm the person behind Expansive Sound Experiments and the Anchor podcast you hear on Anchor FM and Spotify. This episode is talking about our Sam Electric Ghost music, or PEG music. And we put up a song, or two songs, called Soul Mover and Soul Diffuser Fantasy. And this is an example of our recording style, which is kind of like a jam band, a node to the jam band style, a node to like using a Tascam 4-tracker type of method instead of using a digital audio workstation or a DAW. We primarily use Zoom R24 digital recorders and track things into the Zoom R24 on stereo tracks. So track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, up to 24. And we use an MX1 performance mixer to capture our mono signals and then convert them to stereo from the Roland MX1 performance mixer, and then feed them into a Zoom R24 on two channels. So that's how we get the mono signal. We're able to convert mono eurorack signals to stereo through physical quarter-inch patching. And then we tend to record at our hardware synths to be able to do what is called, playing the filter or playing the knobs on the actual synths in real time and recording it in real time, and getting that sound, which is sometimes point in time kind of jazz improvisation with these analog synths. So you can do a lot of cool modulation or strange modulation or expansive sound. So these songs are primarily creations of analog synthesis. We went back and we're focusing on our Moog Mother 32, Arturia Mini Brute 2S, and our Make Noise maps module along with the Moog DFAM. So we were able to use these capabilities. Plus, we use a Pittsburgh modular 4x2 or 2x4 mixer, a eurorack mixer, which allows us to take the voltage controlled amplifier signals and level them before we even hit the performance mixer from the MX1 performance mixer. So what that does is that we are able to get our DFAM or the Arturia or the Mother 32 or the product of what we do in the mass module and actually get it to a certain level before it even hits the MX1 performance mixer, where we can get a level there and then we can run a level on the Zoom. So these songs, Soul Mover, Fantasy, is this concept that Josephine Electric, the lead singer of Phantom Electric Ghost, is kind of talking about this individual that's this soul mover. So they are, in her terms, a wannabe. They're this person that's got a lot of pull in social media because they got like 1 million likes and they got 1 million followers, but Josephine suspects that, the reason they have so many followers is actually a bot. So it's fake. So she's talking about, through this literal allusion and, use of the terms of bots, it kind of implies, the person we say initially, oh, they got 1 million likes, but then we say we got 1 million bots. So that basically implies that those people, those fans aren't real. And then she goes on to say that they're a wannabe. So basically, she's really being hypercritical of this person that has that faux fame that's not real. But it appears to be real because you can manipulate what's going on. And that this person is like an abuser of people. They've got big ego. They're all about themselves. And they pull a lot of people in, and it's not going to be very satisfying because they're just a carbon copy of fame. They're not really doing anything other than the cult of fame. And it's drawing people in for wasting people's time. And people are putting a lot of energy into this person, and they're not even who they appear to be. And what we found with this song is we did a kind of a staccato chord piano arrangement to go with the beat, which the beat actually doesn't come from the DFAM. It comes from a Roland JDXI that we run through on Arturia Beatstep Pro. And this method was how we primarily created drum beats for Phantom Electric Ghost. Once we brought Josephine Electric in as the lead singer, we started to do a lot of songs that have the Arturia utilizing the drum machines that are inside the JDXI. The JDXI has a lot of drum machines inside of it. It actually, it has like an 808, it has a 909, it has a 727, it's got EDM, it's got rock kits, it's got multiple kits. The only problem with the native JDXI is it only can do up at 4 bars on its own. But if you attach it to a sequencer, like an Arturia Mini Boots US, like an Arturia Beatstep Pro, you can extend it. And we've been able to extend it, to 64 steps with chain patterning, and we found it to be very powerful and not have to go get a TRA or an S or anything else other than we got our Moog DFAM because it gives us an analog drum. So in this song, there's an analog sound from the DFAM, but it's not drums. It's more like atmospheric. And then there's a Moog Mother 32 that's hidden behind the piano. So we run our through MIDI, our Mother 32, so it can actually go through the MX1, but it's triggering at the same time it triggers piano tones from the Juno GI. It's triggering tones from the Mother 32, the Moog. But we put it really low, And it's got these analog kind of scratchy at the low end of the keyboard. It's kind of like white noise and scratchy and discordant kind of feedback. But at the top end, it becomes more like the square or triangle wave that we actually had built on the Mother 32. We did a patch, and it has like a really nice analog tone at the top end of the board. And you can hear it. Near the end of the song, you can really hear it. We turn the piano off, and you only can hear the Mother 32. Instead of the Roland piano cuts out, and then you hear the Mother 32, along with a different beat on the Arturia that we ran through a different set of beats. This song primarily is one beat running through the MX1 Performance Mixer, through the digital delay, and then it's a Josephine Electric. We're using the BT4 vocal transformer from Roland with the harmony capability, and then we got a little closer to the mic to be able to make it very clear what Josephine is singing. So we found that a lot of people seem to like this song. When we put it out on Instagram, we created a video for it. We made a YouTube video. We were putting 1-minute clips up on Instagram. That we create our videos in the same way we create our music. We use multiple iPhone tools to do layered sound paintings, that actually have visual aspects to them. So we use multiple apps that are available on the iPhone. We take photos and we manipulate them. We take video, we manipulate it. We run through multiple filters and distortion capabilities, and then we bring our music in through iMovie and some other tools and beautiful audio to make these videos. And we put them on YouTube. We put them on the Instagram channel that we have for Expansive Sound Experience. So if you want to see the video, it's on expansive_sound_experiments. It's also on our YouTube channel under Phantom Electric Ghost. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Phantom Electric Ghost, and under Expansive Sound Experiments. And the next song, we took it and we decided to do take out the JDXI part and actually rewrite the lyrics. So it's still the same concept. It's this idea of this person that's dealing with these thoughts and everything, but it's a more psychedelic psytrance version. It's pure analog synth. It's a Moog DFAM is driving it, and also the Arturia Mini Group 2S is driving it with the Mother 32 and the Make Noise math module, which we tend to play the filters on the math module. We use the controls to do the logarithmic and exponential processing of the signal, so you can do a lot of cool things with the overrides to the controlled voltage VCA signals that we put into it from the Mother 32. And then the Arturia Mini Group 2S, we tend to just run that straight into the MX1 that we use. It's got an interesting looping envelope that we tend to use, and it's also got different than the Moog. Instead of the ladder filter, it's got a state variable filter that we take advantage of, and we've played around with it a lot. And it has a lot of percussive capability that we tend to use. That we augment our Moog drummer from another melody, the DFAM, with the percussive capabilities of the Arturia Mini Group 2S. So these songs we find are very interesting, and we just created a new song that we wrote last night that we call the Underbelly of That City, which is another strange song. It's basically talking about how in the city there's all this darkness and there's all these things going on that are not exactly clean or sweet or nice. It's like a lot of darkness in the city, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And it's a very atmospheric sound painting, stream of consciousness lyrics. It comes up with the same concept that we're just talking about of using the analog synths to kind of drive the recording. And we find it our analog synths always give us inspiration. Sometimes we don't come into a recording session with an exact song. We kind of let the analog synths drive how we're going to write the song, and they kind of like tell us which way to go. We'll experiment with a lot of. We'll try to create a pad or a patch. First thing we usually do is we go into the Moog DFAM, and we'll see what kind of beat we can get off of that. Or we'll go into our Arturia Beatstep Pro with the JDXI and come up with a beat there. Or reuse beats. So we've got a bunch of beats we created going back to 2016 that are in Arturia. And then we can play with the different sets in the JDXI to change the sound or the tone, the actual tone, drum pad tone or patch that is inside the JDXI, and we'll use a different sound for a kit than what we originally used. And we'll change the speed of that actual patch. And we have a bunch of patterns that we created to go back to a bunch of stuff that we released, and we're just kind of borrowing from ourselves. And then, well, a lot of our new beats are all done on the DFAM or the Arturia Mini Boom 2S with its percussive capabilities to act like a drum machine. One method that we used to use a lot that we're thinking of going back and doing is there's a drum machine inside of the Juno GI. It's got a bunch of patterns already pre-built, and you kind of like string them together. And it's got, rolls and all kinds of, snare, like loops and bass patterns, tom patterns. It's basically all the kind of drum patterns you want are built in, and you can go and create a structure. It's very tight and sounds like a real drummer. So it's kind of interesting. Korg has a drum machine that kind of does the same thing, but inside of the Juno GI, it's got this native capability. But once we got the JDXI, we stopped doing that. But we found there's a lot of songs we actually wrote that are pre-Ghost that we've gone back and used just the instrumental tracks and overdubbed lyrics onto them to create songs. And we found that that's very interesting. We also have a drum machine inside of the Zoom R24, which is in the song "Oh Never Last You Got the Knack." So that's the only use that we've used the drum pattern from the Zoom R24 is on that Bentley release, "Oh Never Last You Got the Knack," which we want to explore that more. There's a lot of drum programming you can do in the R24. It's a little not that intuitive initially. There's stuff you have to learn how to do it. Seeing a tutorial on YouTube, and we're going to go dive into it. We also do a lot with the OP-Z. We use the OP-Z drum machine, and the way we do that is we take a line in from the OP-Z and we bring it into an MX1 Performance Mixer, and we'll take a song that we put together. Because the OP-Z lets you do chain patterns, kind of like the Arturia Mini Boom 2S. So within a project, you can do a bunch of patterns, and then you can chain them together, and you can change the order, and you can actually do it real time. You can just go and change the order real time, and then it also has the ability to kind of play the filter or play the step components. So on an OP-Z, if you put it into this manual mode, you can actually manually play the step components, and I think you've seen that with Cuckoo did a live performance, I think, at one of the big conventions. So last year, or he showed what the OP-Z can do in a club, and that was very interesting. And so we kind of use the capabilities of the OP-Z, and we bring it into our hardware workflow, and then we'll overdub like a piano or guitar from the Juno GI, and then we'll bring in analog synth from the Arturia or the Moog and layer it. And we find that that's very interesting. It gives us like a very unique sound because we can take the capabilities. That's our digital instrument, but it's a hardware instrument. So we really appreciate it. We always wanted OP1, but the OP-Z, one of the best things about the OP-Z is right now we're actually doing our day job. We're in IT, we're working in Maine and we have to stay in a hotel, like an extended stay. And we can't. We try to bring our big gear, but it was just too heavy and hard to lug around, and we didn't trust the security. With OP said, we can actually keep it in a backpack at work, get back to the hotel, sit in the bed, and actually, write the kind of demos. So we've created a bunch of demos that we've actually sent to Bentley this year. And since we've been in this hotel for the last like month and a half, we've created maybe like 4 or 5 songs using OP Dead as the initial demo that we'll bring into the MX1 in the Zoom and then overdub. And we found it's a very interesting workflow. We'd love to see if Teenage Engineering is gonna like redo the OP1. Because we like the form of the OP1, we'd like to see if they could actually build like maybe a brand new synth that's maybe a little bit bigger than an OP1, but has like the capabilities of an OPC and an OP1. It would be cool to actually have the tape recorder and the sequencer, and to have real full-size keys like a guitar keyboard bed. That would be really cool. Though I know they're not probably into that, but it would be cool to see them pull a synth off. That would be interesting. But the portability of it, like, well, also an alternative could be like a new OP1 with maybe like bootleg keys and the ability to have the sequencer from the OP7. And maybe extend instead of having a 4-track recorder, give it like an 8-track recorder, tape recorder. And I think the OLED screen was pretty cool. So I don't know if they're going away from that, because the OPC, you don't really need an OLED. You can use your iPhone. Now, it is useful to use the iPhone in the sampling mode on the OPC, because you can actually see and edit your sample a lot easier. You can visually see what's going on, so it becomes more like a modern sampler, where you can actually see the result of your sample and trim it and change it on the screen. So that's useful to do. Be cool if Teenage Engineering, I know that you're using an iPhone, so why would you need a screen? But if they actually had a mod to build a module that actually had like an OLED and maybe extended the capability, like with a real keyboard or something, so that you could plug the OPC into a thing that would be like an Arturia mini lab, and it also has an OLED, and then it maybe can extend the function of an OPZ, and it give you like a whole nother synth by just plugging it in. That would be pretty cool. It would be a cool kind of modular idea, and since they've gone with this modular concept, that would be really interesting. I'd like to see something like that. And then the other thing with like Roland, we're really going back and looking at the System 8, and in the System 8, even though it was released like maybe 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, it's still very competitive with a lot of synths. It's a very interesting machine because it can do a lot of capabilities. Because it can transform into so many things that you just have a lot of capability with this machine. In that it becomes when you get it, it can be a Jupiter 8, it can be a 106, and then it can be its own engine. It can be a System 100, it can be a SH 101, it can be a Pro Mars, it can be a DXP, and it probably could do more. It's probably going to come, and so they've been able to extend it without releasing another model because of its design to become other synths. Now, the only thing about the System 8 that we've been kind of waiting is wondering if Roland would go and make a new System 8 that actually has a bigger keyboard, or like what you see on a Juno, and then also extend it to be a System 16, create a 16 voice System 8, which would be a brand new idea. Like, so go and take the Jupiter sounds, go and take the Juno 106 and those analog polysynths and actually make them 16 voice. So actually, that would be the new modern update, if you make a 16 voice version of a Jupiter 8 to a System 16. and then you make a 16-voice version of a 106 or a JHBT. That would be phenomenal, and I think it would actually, get people to want to come to Roland. If they gave it the form where it was a little more solid in terms of, it had wood end sheets, maybe aluminum body rather than plastic, 16 voices, same workflow, maybe make it so you can color code it more like the way the grandmother is. Or even go back into Roland's history if you use the color scheme of the Jupiter or a Juno. Go back to that color scheme rather than the green lights. Or make it so the LEDs can be different colors, and the user can change the colors all over the board to be different sections. So colors, different sections have the oscillator has a different color. They go and change the colors of each of the LEDs so they're all different. That would be kind of cool if each zone on the synth had different LED colors. They could do what Moog does with their physical colors on the grandmother or the matriarch. So that's just an idea for Roland to kind of look at. That would be a really killer idea to implement. We would love to see them do something like that because it would really extend the capability of the technology they have, which is kind of like FGPA. It seems like Roland came out with an idea of the FGPA capability through their ACB, which is the analog behavioral systems, which can do the same thing as FGPA. It basically mimics an analog synth in a digital format through their plug out. They call it plug out. And I don't know if it's actually really an FGPA. That's what it really is. It would be interesting to know if that's what it actually. That's what the technology is. If it's the same or if it's their own proprietary version. The Japanese tend to make their own version of that capability. It might be a Roland specific technology rather than FGPA. But it behaves the same way. Basically, because you could be a Jupiter, you can be a 106, whatever. And the System 8, it's become a really powerful FM synth as well. So if they don't do it, we might still go. We're kind of torn between getting a matriarch, which is a really pure analog synth, but it's not poly. It's got that other tone, capability, which is not a poly synth. It's with paraphonic synth, which also is interesting, and you can do a lot with a paraphonic. But if you're going to have a synth on stage that gives you a lot of capability, it's System 8, giving you the Jupiter 106 and the native capabilities, it just gives you a lot of functionality. And that to me is interesting. I've never heard of anybody actually taking like the System 100 and then mixing it with the Jupiter, which I don't know if you can mix the monophonic synth. I know you can take a Juno and mix it with a Jupiter. I don't know if you can take a System 100 and mix it with the tone of a Jupiter. Now that would be really cool. That would be very interesting. I think that would give it a lot of capability. So we'd really like to see whether or not that's actually something you can do. Because that would be phenomenal. Because the System 100, we have a System 1M, and we were thinking of getting the update to be able to do the plug out for that. We never bought any of the plug outs for it. And so since we have it, we probably wouldn't get the SH101 boutique. We probably just go buy the plug out and put in our System 1M. So we can just manipulate it through the Juno, which is a bigger keyboard. We have a Juno GI, and we just run it through there, or run it through the JDX. So we've got a little off topic, but we like to talk about different things. We did talk to a really awesome artist from New Zealand, and it's been trending very well on our Instagram. So we talked to Ezra, and we probably the highest performing podcast we've done in the last couple of weeks. And she's a dark pop artist from New Zealand, and we're very happy with that interview. We love her work. We'd love to collab with her, but it's up to an artist if they want to do that. But she has an awesome style. You should check out her music. She put out a lot of singles. She's got over 1 million hits on her YouTube videos, so check out her YouTube or her videos on the web. And we'll talk to you later. Thank you very much for listening to Bam Like a Ghost.